How you guys doing? It's Sunday night. Just wanted to hit on a couple markets like usual, and then let's actually look at some ag and some of the other commodities. I haven't really done a video on any of those lately, but real quick, the long bond still in a range trade, right? So don't overthink it. If we get back to the bottom of the range, this is two standard deviations, regression channel. So you could bid down here around 172 the buck overnight. This is really the sweet spot though, where you want most of your size down here around 171. All right. I'm going to start incorporating, for those of you that aren't trading futures, a little bit more of the ETFs. So this is TMF, right? The 20-year duration Treasury Bull. It's 3 times leverage. And this is the hourly chart. And you can see it's the same thing. If we get back towards the bottom of this range, I mean, you won't be able to trade this overnight, obviously, in the extended hours. But if you get a move back here towards pi, so anything 114 or lowers, you can start buying again TMF. All right, and then the same thinking on TLT. Just keep buying dips here. We're in a bull market. Don't overthink it. Kind of getting down to the bottom of the cycle. If we move to a 4-hour, all right, you can still see this isn't an uptrend. So any dip you want to buy, you're going to kind of watch this 137.20 area. But you can't get too wrapped up in the levels on these ETFs, right? Because they're going to trade off the futures. So I'd rather you look at levels on the actual futures contract and then just turn around and buy whatever ETF you choose. I hope that should make sense to you guys. So we're still in an uptrend. Pi cycle looks good. I'd like to get a dip. Same thing in gold. I keep saying long bonds and gold, they look very similar. So looks like 1320 would be nice. Maybe I'll probably bid for a few down there tonight. Stocks I didn't highlight Friday, but I don't know. Stocks are just super high within the range, so I don't really want to chase them long, and I don't want to short them yet either because the momentum hasn't rolled over. If you're playing it from the near-term basis, we'll just see in the morning, but I think the bottom of the range is you got to kind of wait for 2171, 2165 to think the long side. And then, I don't know, it's just maybe you try to fade it if we make new highs, but it's just kind of, there's other markets to play that set up a little bit easier. Dow futures, I'm still small long. And so these were my last few buys. I sold some there. So if we move to new highs, I'll probably get flat. So anyone that's been following along, I'm playing long in Dow futures versus a bigger picture hedge really in S&Ps. I don't really want to play stocks from the short side. Maybe closer to September. But again, they're so bullish longer term, it just doesn't really pay to fight it. And seems like most of the street's short, or hedge fund community is short. That's not a trade that's really been working. You're better off buying bonds if you want to be bearish the economy or you want to start playing slow growth. As far as currencies, I'm going to offer a few up here, like 112.5 overnight, and we'll see. I think the upper end of the range this week, if you were to draw a regression channel, I guess we can draw it real fast. You draw this regression channel, I think that's, let's see, that's one standard deviation. So I've always found 2 is what I like to use. It has a lot to do with the 3 sigma rule. I don't want to go into it right now. But you can see there's 113 is kind of the top end of your range. Right? So that's what I'm eyeing to short in the euro. Pound yen I have a position on right now, micro. Um, but over the intermediate term, guys, if you're swing trading the pound yen, we need this thing to bounce. So I was covering down here last week in just very small, light short position. I think we're going to test these lows around 129. Um, but for the Tokyo session here, I'm just trading this around. So on the 15-minute, you can see we got a little bit of a bounce on the hourly. So I sold a little in here uh, in my Forex account, and then we crossed here, shorted it more. I mean, it's not moving much. We're talking 20 pips or so. It's nothing fancy. But overall, dollar's still in a range trade. Let's look at some currencies or some commodities real quick. All right, so big picture, you know, the dollar's still strong. It's keeping these markets in bear markets, right? Dollar up, commodities down for the most part. So we're still oversold here on the weekly level as far as wheat futures. What I want to see on the daily, I mean, you could lean short here. I don't have a position right now, but this is something maybe we can look at earlier in the week. But you can see this trend's down. The wave formation's down, the 30's down, the 200's down, pi cycle's down, prices below all these moving averages. You're back here at the 30 days, so probably you can make a lower high, pretty high within the cycle. So it's okay to lean a little short there. So I'll keep that one on the watch list for the morning. Corn, you have a bottoming tail here on the daily. You can see how this is still rising. So I think the daily cycle can go a little higher. This is your TMS lower high, so you want to let this come back a little bit more, but it's the same thinking there. This is in a downtrend, so we want to sell rallies there. Coffee's the reverse. See, it's bull market. I like this here. We can buy a little bit here. I'll probably look to buy some of this tomorrow. We'll start a position there. I like the way that looks. Big picture, coffee's a little bit more neutral. You have some room back here to buy. This 30's rising, but we're making higher lows and higher highs. So this is technically in an uptrend. You can see that the monthly level though is in a downtrend. So that's why the market was struggling up here at these upper bands. So it just depends how you play it. But I'd buy even more back down in this area. So it's okay to lean a little bit long there in coffee. Oops. Soybean, same thing. I'd rather lean long. This is bullish. You need to really see it hold this pi area, or you can drop back down to the lows from the beginning of the year. But that looks pretty good too. So I don't have any positions as far as ag goes, or the softs or the grains. So I wanted to get back in there on a few things, and we're starting to have some more commodity traders in the room. Live cattle. This is in a bearish downtrend. Okay, again, this is the daily chart. So I circled this, I guess, a couple of weeks ago looking for a lower high. It looks like that's what you're going to get. I don't have a position on there either, but I would rather be short. All right. Trying to think what else. Let's just look at energy and copper real quick. Copper's in a downtrend. I'm short. I'm just short, I think, 1 or 2 lots, so I wasn't really in a hurry to cover at the end of the week. Maybe you can get back down around $2. I don't know. I like to cover down here. This is the low support, but you can see pi is down in a bearish cycle, so stay short there. And we're playing copper short. You know, global demand growth is weak, so it's a good reason to play copper short. Copper's been signaling weak demand for a couple years now, deflation, etc. So I like playing copper on the short side, and then we've been playing gold on the long side, which I already touched on. Okay, silver's still bullish. This is your buy zone down here, 19 bucks. I don't have a position in futures, but we are long silver Wheaton. I talked about Friday, sold some calls. We really lightened up. This is a longer term position for us, so I touched on that one also. I think that's pretty much it, guys, for this evening. I got a few other things to do. I got to pick my girl up at the airport, so I'll talk to you guys in the morning. Have a great rest of your night.